The thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle!
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun! Come on and join us!
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, our heroes had just a brief moment of triumph in their search for a mooseberry bush. For not only did Natasha, posing as a guide, take possession of the bush, but Boris rolled a piece of candy downhill toward them that rapidly grew into a snowball as big as a house.
Gee, we just asked Sir Hillary for a jawbreaker!
Well, we sure got one. That thing would bust anybody's jaw.
Head for those trees, Bullwinkle! The snowball may break against them!
But as our heroes dashed for the trees, the gigantic snowball overtook them.
Hang on, Rocky!
Look at that, Natasha. A perfect strike.
Not quite, darling. There's two left.
Yes, remarkable as it seems, our friends were still intact, although just a little groggy.
Quick, get his license number, Rock.
Oh, you poor fellows. What a dreadful accident.
And not only that, we didn't even get the jawbreaker.
We have more important things to do, Bullwinkle. We gotta get that bush back to the USA.
So our friends started off through the snowfields of Wanchatecapeak. It soon became evident that their guide lacked a certain amount of confidence.
Well, which way now, Sir Hillary?
Well, let me consult my compass. Heads. We go this way.
You're sure now?
Of course. I know every rock in these mountains.
Did you know that one?
Of course. Hello, Cliff.
Hey, Rocky, look! Footprints!
Good! We'll just follow him back to... Hey, wait a minute.
What's up?
Those tracks look familiar, Bullwinkle. Hey, step into that footprint.
What do you know? Somebody takes the same size hoof as me.
Nobody's feet are that big but yours, Bullwinkle.
You mean?
Yep, those are our tracks. We're going in circles, Sir Hillary.
Circles? Impossible.
Then how come these moose prints?
Think fast, Sir Hillary.
I'm sorry to say, old chappie, those not moose prints.
They're not?
Yet, those are prints of fierce, wild, man-eating creature that roams Wanchatecapeak.
Fierce?
Wild?
You mean?
Yes, these are tracks of abominable snowmen.
The abominable snowman?
Boris, darling, you flipped?
Well, I had to say something.
But he's no such animal.
He's now, and if Moose and Squirrel don't get back, who is to blame?
Abominable snowman! Boris, darling, you've done it again.
Of course. Never underestimate the power of a schnook.
But though the wily Boris had convinced the boys that they weren't going in circles, he still had problems, for he led them onto a huge overhanging ledge of snow and ice.
Well, looks like a nice place to stop and have a lunch.
Doesn't look very safe to me.
Relax. Enjoy the echo. Hello?
Holy smoke, look at that!
Sure enough, the vibration of the echo had been enough to disturb the delicate balance of the snowy overhang, and it began to crack loose.
Don't move, Bullwinkle!
Unfortunately, Bullwinkle had just been ready to eat a hard-boiled egg.
Shh! Quiet, Bullwinkle.
I can't help it, Rock. There's pepper on this egg and...
Hold it!
There. I'm okay now.
And our heroes plummeted toward the valley floor 1,000 feet below. Don't miss our next episode, Below zero, heroes, or I only have ice for you.
And now for another lesson in manners, morals, and,
Corn.
Now, Junior, that's the wrong attitude. There's something to be learned from each of these stories.
I like stories about monsters from outer space. Is this a story about a monster?
This is a story about a stork.
Is this the one about the stork that devoured Cleveland?
It is no such thing. It is the simple story about a fox and a stork and the lesson they learned, which is...
Don't devour Cleveland on a full stomach.
Now, one more interruption and
So I'm listening.
Well, one day, a fox invited a stork to have dinner.
Have you ever had a stork for dinner? That is, invite a stork to have dinner with you? We foxes, you know, have the reputation of being cunning, crafty, sly, and, foxy. Actually, what I really am is a soft little furry beast who wants nothing more than to be a respected member of the community. PTA, Little League Baseball, that sort of thing. And I'm starting out by inviting that pillar of community living, Mr. Stork.
This must be the place.
That's right.
Because it has a crafty look.
Now, just a minute there.
A cunning, crafty, foxy look about it. You must be Mr. Fox.
Oh, that's a fine way to talk. Here I go to all the trouble to fix dinner.
All right, where do you hide them?
Hide them?
The bodies, the chicken bodies.
Oh, for goodness sake.
We storks can't be too careful who we let in the community. Aha! Chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie? That's not chicken.
I'm on to you, Mr. Fox, and your chicken picking ways. Good night.
Now, how could he mistake split pea soup for chicken pot pie?
He just had to be accepted into Mr. Stork's community.
If I could just convince Mr. Stork that I'm not the sly, crafty, chicken-stealing type he thinks I am.
Just as I thought. Chicken snatcher.
But I was here first. This chicken just came and sat down on the bench with me.
Listen, chicken snatcher. Who ever heard of a chicken sitting on a bench with a fox?
But why can't I be accepted? Why? And again, why?
Why? And again, why?
I'll tell you again why. It's because you keep following me around, that's why. What do you want from me, chicken? Why do you keep following me around?
Because I want to be accepted by the community, too.
Well, butt off. I can't be seen with you. People get the wrong impression. Whoops! Quick, hide! Oh, my goodness, Bev. Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Stork.
Chicken snatcher!
Oh, but Mr. Stork, I can explain. You see...
Forget about it, Mr. Fox. Come over and have dinner with me tonight.
All right, chicken. I accept your invitation. It really is too bad I'm not accepted by Mr. Stork. But you see, I've quite a bit of money I'd like to use for improvement of his community.
Quite a bit of money, eh? Well, what if he is a snatcher? After all, he only snatches chickens.
Dum-de-dum-dum. Whoa! Why, Mr. Stork, this is a surprise.
Mr. Fox, I've come over to invite you to dinner this evening. You will be there promptly at 8:30 sharp.
Oh, Mr. Stork, thank you. Whoops. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but I've already made a previous engagement with chicken.
Chicken? Possibly you've misunderstood me. I am a stork. Now, you be there at 8:30 sharp, and I'll pretend I didn't hear what you said.
Invited to dinner by Mr. Stork. Oh, I finally made it. Chicken will understand. After all, this is my big chance, and he's just a chicken.
So, Mr. Fox arrived promptly at 8:30.
Now, Mr. Fox, I understand you have some money. You wish to invest in our community? Delicious. You'll find we storks are very particular just who we let in our community. We have certain standards, traditions, and manners. Enjoying your dinner, Mr. Fox?
Well, for a jar, I'd say it was very tasty. But now, if you'll excuse me, I must run, for you see I'm starving. Chicken! Oh, Chicken! It's your good friend, Mr. Fox. Am I too late for dinner?
Good evening, Mr. Fox. You know, somehow I had the feeling that you had stood me up to have dinner with Mr. Stork.
Oh, that'd be a foxy thing to do.
So Mr. Fox had a wonderful dinner at Chicken's house, and afterwards he became a respected member of the community, the chicken community. And Mr. Fox used most of his money for improvements of the chicken community, Little League baseball, community centers, that sort of thing. For after his dinner with Mr. Stork, he had learned one thing, which is the moral of this story. Do you know what that is, Junior?
If a chicken invites you to dinner, accept, for he may grow to be 30 feet tall.
Now, Junior, there you go again. Whoops.
Today's lesson is mighty important, remember?
Bullwinkle is a...
Not that lesson. This lesson.
And now, here to tell you everything about anything is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, knowledge thirsties. Today's subject is how to sell vacuum cleaners and clean up. Now, the two prime requisites in selling vacuums are the customer and the customee. The customer, or victim, usually lives in a house like this one. The customee, or salesman, has to get in the house. Rule number 1, always get your foot in the customer's door. Good morning, customer. Would you be interested in... Dutch door, huh? Rule number 2, find a door one can put one's foot in. Good morning, customer. Mind if I put my foot in your... Rule number 3, forget rule number 1. At this point, also forget about getting in the door and find another way of getting in, such as a window. Preferably an open window.
Look at mess you made.
Oh, sure, customer. I shall rectify that in a jiffy.
Hey, what you doing?
It's an extra feature. It not only cleans up, it dirties up. Wait a second, I shall put it in reverse and suck up everything in sight.
Boy, you wasn't kidding. You picked up whole room. Congratulations. You begged the customer.
Not to mention the customee.
Hello out there. Peabody here. And of course, you know Sherman.
Where are we going today, Mr. Peabody?
Back to the 13th century, Sherman, for a visit to a very famous palace.
Does vaudeville go back that far?
Not the RKO Palace, the palace belonging to Kublai Khan, Emperor of all China. For today, the Wayback Machine will introduce us to that legendary world traveler, Marco Polo. Performing with its customary brilliance, the Wayback teleported Sherman and I into Kublai Khan's magnificent palace. However, you can imagine our dismay at finding Marco Polo inside a cell. And of all things, sewing.
Tell me your size and then leave. I'm very busy.
Size?
Your shirt size. Isn't that what you come for?
No, we came to see you, Mr. Polo.
That's strange. Everyone who comes in here usually wants me to make a shirt for them.
Polo shirts?
Sure. I made the mistake of teaching the Chinese how to play polo. Now I am compelled to make a genuine polo shirt for every man and woman and child in China.
Why don't you escape?
Because I wouldn't get very far. At least not without my passport.
Kublai Khan?
Yeah, he's steal it from me.
Sherman and I demanded an immediate audience with the great Khan.
You think I am a fool? Polo shirts is very big business for us. Now please to depart from Honorable Khan's presence.
Not without Marco's passport.
So, you wish to acquire a passport? Tell you what Khan gonna do. We're gonna gamble for it. Passport against your lives.
It's a deal.
We play one fast game of Chinese checkers. Winner take all.
The play began cautiously. It was during the middle of the game that I learned Kublai Khan couldn't be trusted. Not only was my opponent a master strategist, but he indulged in subterfuge, such as burning incense that clouded my vision, and occasionally referring to a book
guaranteed to shake anyone's confidence. But in the end, superior intellect won out.
Well, it look like you win. All right. Kublai know when he been conned. You get passport. You like a try for two?
Thank you, no. One is all we require. We returned to Marco's cell and related the good news. However, no sooner were we inside...
We're locked in.
More Kublai Khan's a dirty work.
Yes, but there's more than one way of skinning a Khan. Any tools about?
I got a needle and thread.
Thread will do.
Gee, Mr. Peabody, you're good enough to be in a rodeo.
I twirled my miniature lariat between the bars and encircled a ring of keys hanging on the wall. In a matter of minutes, we were free.
So far, so good. What's next?
The quickest way out of China is by boat. Head for the river. We arrived at the water's edge, but the only thing we found was a tiny rowboat.
Hey, couldn't I wait until something bigger came along?
And something did. Kublai Khan, followed by a horde of savage warriors who promptly lined both sides of the shore. This calls for a slight alteration in plans. I instructed Marco to row past Kublai Khan as fast as was humanly possible.
But those warriors have spears. Suppose they throw them.
The only thing they'll throw are words of encouragement. Come, Sherman, there's work to be done.
Now hear this. Now hear this. Aim spear at first thing that float down river.
You do, and you'll spoil the race.
What are you talking about?
The International Rowboat Regatta. We talked Marco Polo into rowing for China.
You did?
Of course, he doesn't stand much of a chance in a Chinese boat.
And what is wrong with Chinese boat?
Nothing. I merely...
I bet you 20 yen Marco win.
You're on.
Look, Imperial One! Escaped prisoner coming down river! Shall we kill him?
Hey, you crazy? I got yen bet on that boy. Come on, Marco!
And so as the sun slowly settled in the west, so did Marco. Kublai Khan won his bet, Marco his freedom.
Well, at least he gave China the sport of polo.
He gave them one other sport, Chairman. Every afternoon, Marco would smack a rubber ball against the palace wall. Naturally, it caught on big with the Chinese population. And when that many people play handball, you need a lot of wall.
Is that why they built the Great Wall?
That's why, Sherman.
Well, as usual, things are going from bad to worse for our heroes. Last time, you remember, Boris Badenov led them out on an overhanging ledge of snow to eat lunch. And then Bullwinkle put too much pepper on his hard-boiled egg, and when he sneezed, the entire ledge broke off.
I don't see them, Boris.
Me too. I guess they're buried alive.
Aren't we going to do something?
Of course. Here, blow taps in E-flat. So farewell and goodbye. Down you go in the snow, you must die with the mooseberry bush. Mooseberry bush!
That doesn't rhyme.
Natasha, they still have the bush.
You mean...
Yes, we must save them.
Again?
And so the two spies furiously set to work to dig our heroes out of the snow pile.
Well, Moose will be out in a minute.
Here is Squirrel already, and he has mooseberry bush.
Good. Then we don't need Moose.
And Boris raised the shovel and brought it down with a crash.
Gee, you're shivering, Sir Hilary.
He's just my old malaria.
Well, let's go. It's getting dark.
The party pressed onward and suddenly came upon a set of giant footprints.
They are tracks of the abominable snowman.
The abominable snowman?
Yes, a fierce man-eating monster.
I still say they look like your hoof prints, Bullwinkle.
Boris, I don't think we can fool them much longer.
No, Squirrel is too smart for us.
Yes, he's got sneaking hunch there is no such animal as abominable snowman.
There's only one way to convince him.
And that is?
He's got to see abominable snowman.
But how?
Easy. Tonight, after they are in bed, you put on white sheet over your head and...
I get it, darling. I am the snowman.
If this doesn't get rid of them, my name isn't Sir Hilary Pushemov.
And it isn't.
And so late that night, as our heroes lay in their tent.
Say, Rock, do you think there might be such a thing as a man-eating abominable snowman?
Of course not.
How about a moose-eating abominable snowman?
Oh, no, Bullwinkle. I still think those were your footprints.
But just think if they weren't. Look at the size of that thing. Anybody with a foot that big must really be a monster.
Go to sleep, Bullwinkle. There's no such thing as a...
Ooh. What's that?
It's just the wind, Bullwinkle.
Oh, I could have sworn it was a... Ooh. There it goes again.
It's just the wind, Bullwinkle.
With galoshes on?
Sure enough, just outside their tent stood a pair of huge overshoes, and towering above them an enormous white figure with glowing eyes and teeth made of coal.
Looks just like a snowman. A snowman!
And the boys leaped out of their tent and sped off into the night.
Look at them go! Natasha, my dear, you did marvelous job.
What do you talk, darling? I haven't started yet.
Natasha, this is you?
Who else?
Then this is who?
One guess, darling.
The abominable snowman!
And the two spies followed our heroes into the night as the huge creature turned its baleful eyes on them and lumbered forward. Be sure to see our next episode, The Snowman Cometh, or An Icicle Built for Two.
Looks as if our time has just about run out.
Just enough left to tell him who the sponsor was.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop.
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right.
Bye now. See you next time.